Happy Saturday, all my fellow brothers and sisters in doll. It's me, your buddy Donnie from Miami, with another Dolly review, telling it like a TI is. Um, Today, I'm bringing you, like I always say, another very special Dolly. When I say I am crazy about Shani, I am absolutely nuts about Shani. I am not whistling Dixie. These dolls made such a splash in my teenage years, and not just for me. They were a great success. These dolls sold like hotcakes. The trouble is that Shani's only flaw was that, well, she wasn't exactly budget friendly. When Shani and her sisters, I mean, okay, I like to think of them as sisters, but they're probably, just friends. But because I'm so pro sibling, I think of Shani, Asha, and Nichelle as sisters. Not because they're black, but because a sibling connection. Anyways, so these dolls, they're gorgeous. I mean, it's like that. Just look at them. Look at them. They're absolutely beautiful. The expression in their faces are such joy of smiles. And unlike today's dolls, that seem to have a whole lot of attitude in their faces. And again, I'm always ruffling somebody's feathers because no, most of today's dolls I do not care for. And it's, mostly because of that, because they'll have these faces with attitude like, you're going to buy me or what? No, these girls have such pretty, pretty faces that they're inviting, because it's like, hey, can I come over? It's like, come on, you want to take me home, don't you? It's like they're friendly, they're beautiful, they're ethnically correct, okay? They have actual African features, they look like black women, their gowns were very opulent, super elegant. And again, they weren't budget friendly because, as you can see, the fabrics were very luxurious. You see, this is not an indictment against Mattel or anything, but let's face it, Shani was designed basically to squash all the other African American fashion dolls that were at the time, namely Janae and Imani. Now, that's just my theory, please, Mattel, don't sue me for what I'm saying. It's just a theory, okay? I'm not calling anybody names. I'm not making any accusations. But, speaking, from the business side, yeah, Shani was designed to squash, Janae and Imani. Why? Because, again, it's a business. Mattel is a business, and they have to be competitive. They have to constantly try to beat the competition, Now, I am also totally crazy about Janae and Imani, which I've discussed in other videos, and I will continue discussing in other videos. But, clearly this was Shani's intention to knock Janae and Imani out of the water, basically to squash them. And sure enough, eventually, Janae and Imani rode quietly into the sunset, which is a fate that Shani herself didn't quite experience, because after a couple of years, Shani's line was canceled as Shani herself, unfortunately, because Mattel is a business, they obviously believe in waste not, want not. Okay, they continued recycling the Shani, Asha, and Nichelle head molds throughout the years. Okay, so they've really gotten their money's worth out of those head molds. Because if you look carefully at Nichelle, okay, you're gonna recognize her that this is a head mold that Mattel continued to use. I can think of right now, there was this Barbie in the 2000s that had, I forgot her name. Oh yeah, Butterfly Art. I believe that's her name. Butterfly Art Christie. Okay. Butterfly Art Christie sported, the Nichelle head mold. Okay. She was just a lighter shade of skin tone. Okay. Another doll in the 2000s that sported the Nichelle head mold is Florida Vacation Christie. Okay, again, so Mattel, they may have canceled the line of Shani, but they sure as hell did not let these head molds go to waste. Now, back to Miss Nichelle here. Uh, she is my favorite of the three. I love all three of them. I love Asha, Shani, and Nichelle, but Nichelle, this girl's my favorite. And it's kind of odd that she be my favorite because, well, I'm not into ballerina dolls. I'm really not. I don't collect ballerina dolls. They just don't put any to my horn, okay? But for Nichelle, I made an exception. I think she's lovely. She's absolutely adorable. Okay, let me do a little sweeping shot here of Miss Nichelle with her cute ballerina slippers. Again, I don't really collect ballerina dolls, but Nichelle is the exception. Anyways, as you can see, I have one boxed over there, mint, and she's staying mint. And I have another one that I've already deboxed, and I have her again in her ballerina mode because, that was part of the gimmick of Shani, that, she had two dressing modes, this beautiful poofy gown mode, and again, ballerina mode. As you can see, her box is very large. Okay, then in the back of the box, you see a beautiful, beautiful picture. Okay, of the three main dolls that came out. This is the first wave of Shani. Okay, Shani and her friends. Yeah, friends. But again, I prefer to think of them as sisters. And again, when you look at these faces, I mean, come on. They are so pretty. You can tell that these dolls were sculpted with either a lot of love, okay, or Mattel shelled out a good penny to the sculptor or sculptors who came up with those head molds. Okay. Now, something else I'd like to mention. You notice that you always hear about designers. You hear about Carol Spencer's, Kitty Black Perkins, of course, Ruth Handler, the lady who started Mattel, and created Barbie, quote unquote, based on another doll. But you never hear about the sculptors. Mattel must perhaps, again, a theory of mine, have some kind of gag order contract with their sculptors, that you never hear of them. You never hear of the sculptors, who created, the Barbie head molds or certain body molds. I forgot his name, but the only sculptor, no sculptor, but the gentleman who created the original Barbie body and its mechanics and so on. I forgot his name, but only his name was ever mentioned. But then no other sculptor has ever been mentioned, from Mattel. Anyways, again, here's Nichelle. She came, as you can see, very beautifully adorned. Okay. She also, again, like I said, this first wave of Shani was not budget friendly. She wasn't. So that was like her only little downside. She was, yes, very Afrocentric, but she wasn't Afrocentric in a gratuitous way. She was Afrocentric in a very commercial way, so that she was still also mainstream. So these dolls were created not only to appeal to black children, but also white children and Latino kids and pretty much every ethnicity, because the dolls were simply beautiful. And children don't look at race anyways, unless, they're being taught. But children, for the most part, they look at a beautiful doll. It's a beautiful doll, period. Kids don't think, until an adult points it out. Hey, this doll doesn't look like you, or, whatever. Or this doll does look like you, and all of that. But anyways, Nichelle, Asha, and Shani, they came out. Let me see their box. What does it say here? 1991. Okay, that's what the box says. So chances are these dolls didn't really become available in stores until 1992 or maybe later into 1991. Okay, like I said, I am absolutely nuts about Shani and her sisters because, again, one of the same frivolous reasons why I like every other doll, because they look pretty. But another reason, and you'll see that in other videos, why I love the Shani dolls so much is because I enjoy making them over as sets of Diana Ross and the Supremes. But again, other videos shall come into that. Anyways, I have taken enough of your time. I wish you a happy Saturday. Thank you all for stopping by. Oh, and before I go, I'd like to give a shout out, to Boy Who Likes Dolls channel. Again, I always get it wrong. I'm paraphrasing. Boy Who Like Dolls, Boy Who Loves Dolls. I'm so sorry. I'm paraphrasing your name. I always get it wrong. But I want to give a shout out to you because you did a lovely video review on the Asha from this line of Shani dolls. So I'm bringing you here, Nichelle. Okay. Anyways, have a happy Saturday, all of you, and thank you for stopping by.